of American workers are not engaged or actively disengaged in the workplace. Today, 70% of American workers are not engaged or actively disengaged in the workplace. This means the average worker spends 2.1 hours per day not focusing on the task at hand, totaling 3 months of unengagement out of the year. The realities of unalignment in the workplace are everywhere and lead to billions of lost revenue dollars to disengaged employees. Companies are drowning in disengagement. Wouldn't you want a company that has managers helping lead the company more effectively to grow in profit? With everyone feeling more connected and accountable as a team. With sales, customer service, and employee retention rising. We'll share with you why your business should be aligned and what it's costing you if it's not. Presented by Team Real World. Welcome Maurice Velasquez and John Shirk.
Hello everybody and welcome to Winning in the Workplace. My name is Maurice Velasquez.
I'm John Shirk.
And this is Winning in the Workplace. Today we're going to be covering a very popular topic. It's hitting the news, the headlines everywhere. Forbes magazine is talking all about it. Inc. Magazine, Entrepreneur Magazine, Wall Street Journal, the Gallup poll every year puts out more and more information about this one topic, and we thank you for joining us. The topic is how to engage employees.
This is a big issue.
It's a huge issue. It's issue. How big is it?
It is as big as how much capital do you have. It is as big as do you have a technology advantage.
Yeah, it really is.
If you're going to compete, you have to deal with this issue.
And we thank you for joining us. All of you live on our website, go ahead and put your questions or any comments on it. We have our computer right over here to where we're feeding all your questions. And again, we thank you for joining us. We're going to be covering a lot of good information, and we're going to be covering the 9 steps that should help you create engagement. All right. The first thing you'll see on the screen is a really good quote that we follow as a good standard for what good engagement should be like.
That's right.
Let's read it. It's good management is the art of making problems so interesting and their solutions so constructive that everyone wants to work and deal with them. Now notice what it doesn't say. I'm here gonna kind of steal our own thunder. Notice what it doesn't say. Good manage is the art of throwing a lot of good parties. Okay. Good management is the art of celebrating birthdays. Okay. Now we're not against that. Are you against that?
No,
I'm not against it at all. As a matter of fact, we would say that fun and events and activities of the sort have to be very present and very real in your culture.
Yes.
Okay, if your company's not spending conscious dollars on how to invest on these type of events, then you're probably discouraging your people because people enjoy parties.
That's right.
People enjoy things to do.
What's really happening is that if you have a challenge with engagement, you've got a lot of pain to get the work done in your company, and likely. And so what happens is we want to offset that pain somehow. So money gets thrown at people or parties get thrown at people. But instead, we should be just dealing with the actual work itself.
Yeah, let's take a look at the things that all these studies worldwide and all types of magazines put out as the major things that cause disengagement.
That's right.
Okay, let's take a look at them. One of them is expectations are not clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Tools are not provided.
Right.
Okay?
Or the staff skills are not being developed, or good relationships are not being fostered.
There's another one is I don't really know what I'm doing, you know, or no, I don't really know how I'm doing. Am I doing well? Am I not doing well? Am I doing what they want me to do? How am I performing?
That's
I don't get regular feedback. Oftentimes, companies leave it too much for the annual or biannual, twice a year performance review, and that's way not enough. Performance reviews should be definitely formal once a year, but incredibly consistent every week and every month.
That's right.
Okay, I should not have to wonder how I'm doing. Now, if you notice on the screen that no regular feedback, that's a very common cause for disengagement, and it goes along with number 6. No regular praise and recognition.
Well, and if you're not getting any feedback, you're certainly not getting any praise.
We hear a lot of managers who will say, well, I don't like that do a regular praise and recognition because, I just want to make it sure that it's sincere. Well, our answer is be sincere.
Right.
You know, be
Sincerely do it
sincere
all the
about it.
time.
But
Yeah.
sincerely, that's right.
Yeah.
But sincerely do it all the time. All right.
Yeah.
So what happens is, we were talking about it earlier, is companies tend to default to want to fix this by throwing parties,
Yeah.
by trying to create a lot of events and a lot of fun enthusiasm. Again, we're totally in favor of it. Okay.
I had a conversation with someone in human resources at a large corporation not long ago, and they had a group of people that was called the engagement team.
Yeah, it's great.
And they
Good
were the
to have,
people,
yeah.
they threw parties.
That's right.
That was their job. That was
that's
what they did.
actually really
Yeah.
good. We encourage companies to have directors of myrrh, okay?
Mm-hmm.
People that are in charge to kind of smell out how is the culture
Right,
going, okay?
that's right.
Man, for companies that are doing that, great job, okay? Now, in and of itself, however, it doesn't really hit home of what needs to happen, because fun and events by themselves can only do so much. Remember what our quote said earlier, that good management is the ability to work on problems together. So the number one reason that causes disengagement, okay, is the following, is that employees do not feel that their opinions really count.
Right.
Okay?
That's right.
It basically looks like this. An employee, well, it doesn't look like that, but almost like that, okay? An employee has an idea, and they go to the manager, and the manager very quickly says, what? Yep. And then, oh no, here it comes. But basically, there's a very fast response of, no, this cannot happen. The managers find a way to either avoid this, or when they're broadsided, or they can't, or they're cornered, the response is usually one of, we can't do this, or they find 3 or 4 or 5 different reasons why it can't be done. Right. And then those problems build up. So employees are always trying to find a way to give feedback, but managers tend to interpret that feedback as being whining.
Right.
Okay.
That's right.
And as though they're complaining, or they're gossiping.
That's right.
Or they're, there's a lot of other adjectives we could use. That's what it's often called for. But managers and management teams tend to look at that as being very negative. Okay.
That's right. Yeah, and that negativity becomes a barrier to the communication itself. So what we're encouraging you guys to do is not discourage your employees, but assess the impact of that.
Yeah. If these problems go unanswered, okay, morale drops and people become very disengaged, all right? Just think about your own workplace. What frustrates you at your workplace? Think of all the problems that you have, that you've either wanted to talk to management, or you have brought up to management,
How many times, if I just said fill in this blank, all those people at work, they never listen to me.
Right. Yeah. What's the common thing that people go home and talk to their spouses about? At the office, they just don't
care.
Yeah. And they, why not? Well, they just don't listen. Okay. Employees feel like they bring it up once, then they bring it up again, nothing happens, and they feel like pretty much they're chasing their tail. Okay. After a while, what happens is everyone becomes disengaged. They feel like they're wasting their time. It's very discouraging. Okay. All right. So one of the things that we want to encourage you, managers, okay, is to start giving you some instructions of what not to say, what to say, and what to do. All right. So let's start off with probably the most common thing that managers say that we need to stop saying. All right. This is almost like a sacred cow. All right. Here you hear this said all the time. Here's what you don't say. You don't say, don't bring me your problems, bring me your solutions. Okay? This is something that, John, if I hear it once, I hear it 30 times. Okay? Managers are usually complaining about employees because all they do is bring them their problems. And so managers say, hey, don't bring me your problems, bring me your solutions.
That's right.
Well, what message does this send?
The message it sends is, don't talk to me.
Don't talk to me,
please.
okay? Don't talk to me.
Or just pretend and fake it.
Right. I mean, I for many years worked under this premise. I did, and
Can I interrupt you?
Sure.
There's a question from someone.
There's a question, okay? How do you gather employees' everyone's complaints? Perfect. Let's go ahead and cover that. We'll cover that. Well, actually, as a matter of fact, Elizabeth, thank you very much for asking us this question.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to get questions from all over the internet.
If
all right.
you're watching,
so this is great. Please send us questions. All right, Elizabeth, we are definitely going to cover the 9 the 9 steps that we're going to cover will help you answer that question. Elizabeth's question was, how do you gather everyone's complaints? First of all, be okay to hear complaints, right? I mean, that's a really good question, okay? Don't stay away from it. So stick around for the remaining of the webinar. We'll give you the 9 steps on how to do that, all right? Yeah. So let's go back to the slide that we were looking at here just a second ago. Make sure you stay away from this. From telling folks, don't bring me your problems, bring me your solutions, all right? So we have to switch that, all right? And we want to start saying this. Talk to me, okay? Tell me your problems. Tell me your issues. I want to hear from you. I want to know. I want to be on the know. All right? I'm not trying to meddle. I'm not trying to micromanage. I want to know what it is that I need to do to help you.
Now listen, let's just be realistic about this. When you're the manager and they're talking to you about their problems, you will begin to feel called out.
Yes.
You will begin to feel accused.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It is critically important that from the beginning, when they begin to talk to you, that you don't take it personally.
You don't,
and you don't show big signs of like, what?
That's right. So because you get hired as a manager or you get promoted as a manager, and managers tend to basically feel like, okay, I know it. Hey, I got promoted. I'm the one that knows things. Wrong message. Okay. What you want to do as a manager is basically come off as, you know what? I really don't know what I'm doing. Although you may. Okay. But you want to go talk to your people.
That's right.
Go talk to your people, because something happens when you become a manager. You almost forget stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to go talk to them. And there's 2 things that keep managers from being able to do them. Okay, John, tell me what are those 2 things?
The first one is the fear of what happens when they ask. Meaning, like let's say you in a very positive way hear the request that I need a new computer. But in the back of your mind, you know, I don't have the money to get them a new computer.
Well, or kind of like what John fears when he comes and asks me how I'm doing. You know, the fear of how I'm going to just blow up with drama. Okay, you see him laughing. Okay, he knows I give him drama. He gives me drama too. Okay, we all give each other drama. All right, executives give drama, managers give drama, but employees are really good at it. Okay, all right. So the fear is that managers want to stay away from going ask because of what may happen, and they're not sure how to handle the tensions that arise through the layers of drama, right? Okay, so a couple more thoughts, and then we're going to get right down into the 9 steps. You see the picture that you have on the screen? Okay, those 3 circles represent the executives at the top, the middle managers in the middle, and the frontliners at the bottom. The bottom line, the bottom circle is where the managers live and where all their problems are. You see that line in the middle that separates the second and third circle? Okay, that line is the line of what we call line of frustration, the almost the one that managers keep away from all the time. Okay, they don't want to go and tap in down there because it's a lava and a volcano of drama. Okay, but we have to realize, we have to encourage you, managers. Okay, you want to cross that line and go talk to them. We want to get you into your psyche that you want to regularly be talking to them. Build the courage and the boldness and the routine. Don't do it just once a month. On a regular basis, go down to the frontliners and go find out what it is they need, because everything down there is a pot of gold. Okay, the problems are down there.
Well, go ahead. As well, just a framing of quote what they need. So when you're talking to them, these if they are a frontliner, they by definition are creating widgets of some kind that the company is selling, or they're creating a widget that supports the people creating the widgets. So whatever it is they're doing, it's getting down there to find out what's frustrating them, what's getting in their way, what is preventing them from spending all of their time focusing on nothing except creating that widget, because that's the value for sale.
Like this clicker, it's frustrating me. Okay, either I don't know how to use this clicker, but it's messing my PowerPoint up. After a while, this is going to frustrate me. Well, if I'm a frontliner and I'm depending on my clicker to work, okay, how is that person going to perform if when they come to the boss and they go, "Hey man, my clicker," you know, and then the employer responds with something negative. See, those problems need to come up. All right, you're not going to be able to fix all of them. And yes, we're going to, through our program, we teach you how to differentiate between those that you should pay attention to, those that should be delegated back to the staff, which should be done later. But by and large, your message is one of becoming a problem solver. Okay. All right. So what you need to do is you need to be able to create a list okay, of issues and ideas that, well, no, let me say it this way. Employees have a list of issues and ideas that they want to talk with you about.
That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
I forgot what this slide was about. Okay, they have a list. You can pretty much bet that can we say every single employee?
Oh yeah.
Can we? Yes, we can say every single employee has a list of issues and ideas that they want to talk with you about, and that's what we have to go get. All right, it's your pot of gold, and that's what's going to keep you fully engaged, and it's going to keep them fully engaged. Because why? You're going to be fixing problems. All right. So what are the layers of drama we're talking about? All right. So here you go, Elizabeth. Here's the beginning answer to your question. Okay. What are the layers of drama? This is how you begin to pull things out. We have to first understand that problems and complaints. You see the light bulb on the screen. All right. Those are issues. Those are problems. Those are ideas, and everybody has them, all right? But because problems go unresolved, then what happens is the first layer of frustration creeps in, all right, and it starts building this shell around the idea. To where when I go talk to an employee about the things that they might want, instead of telling me about their idea, the first thing they talk about is their frustration.
Correct.
And then I, the manager, see the frustration and I coil back, and yet I miss the fact that behind that frustration is the nugget of gold. It's the idea that I really need and want, but now I have to face the frustration, okay?
Yeah.
Then, if the problems continue to be unresolved, then what happens is a second layer creeps in, all right? It goes around. The second layer becomes one of anger, okay? And cynicism, all right? And that second layer becomes yet another obstacle. So again, when I talk to, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, and this anger takes different forms.
Yes.
Sometimes the anger is very outward and visible and looks like anger.
That's one personality, right?
Other times it just looks like someone who's standing there with their arms folded saying, you try and make me tell you what
But this is where managers start saying, you know what, I'm noticing Johnny has a bad attitude.
Yeah.
You know what, I'm noticing Susie, she's, but there's a reason for all that behavior, okay? And you can pretty much bet, just like the sun's gonna come up in the east tomorrow and it's gonna go down in the west, I don't have to have yet another billion years to prove it. That's the way it works, right? You can pretty much bet that if you're noticing, smelling, or sensing bad attitude and low performance in your people, is because they're disengaged, and they're disengaged because they're frustrated. And they're frustrated because the problems and issues that they've brought up, either to you or to other managers, are going unanswered. You can pretty much bet on it, okay? Absolutely. All right, so then what happens, this is where it gets interesting, okay? The layers of frustration, build up, okay? And what happens is, by this time, it's no longer frustration. You have yet a third layer that creeps up, and that is the layer of drama. Okay, and this layer of drama here. Let me put it back on the screen here. Okay, this layer of drama is what employees see. Okay, what's interesting, human nature being what it is, we all act out. And so we figured, if we're not going to get things done, I'm going to act out. And sure enough, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And guess what? Lo and behold, it gets fixed. I guess that's how things are going to be around here. Well, it works.
And everybody's watching.
Drama works. Okay, it's not professional, but that's the culture we need to change. So we got to get ahead of that. We got to be able to break through these layers of drama. We got to break through the layer of anger. We got to break through the layer of frustration and get down to the issues. How do we do that? Let's continue. All right. Here are the powerful 9 steps that we use all the time. And again, John, how many times do you and I do this? Okay.
Countless.
All the time. We get hired, and before we were even consultants and coaches, this is the way we did it with our people. Okay, all the time. Why? Because we got bombarded. I mean, John coached and managed hundreds of people. So did I, and we pretty much over the years learned there's only one way to do this. And we put our thoughts together, we put our notes together, and sure it is. Here's the 9 steps. Number 1, okay, whatever you do, do not take it personally.
This is so important. There's a reason this is number 1. If you can break through and just get them to whisper one issue, you've got, as the manager, you've got to train yourself not to take any of this personally, even if what they whisper is, I hate your guts.
That's right.
My problem.
That's right. So, for example, John comes up to me and says, hey, Maurice, you're over. Okay, well, no, if you tell me I'm overweight, I'll take it personally. But see, listen, John and I practice, okay?
Yeah.
We really do, okay? We have to practice. First of all, we are very familiar with our personality styles. John's very comfortable with his weaknesses.
Yeah.
I'm very comfortable with mine. And so what happens is,
I don't actually have any
although
yet
we're
with
actually, although we mess up a lot, okay? We have to practice, managers. You have to practice being critiqued. Okay,
Yeah.
and just let's put the PowerPoint back on the screen. You know what it looks like when somebody's taking it personally. Okay, I mean, look at that.
Look at that look.
Look at the look. Okay, and what happens is the employee knows that that manager is getting upset, and the employee is going to say, "Well, I can tell you're upset." And what's the manager going to say?
I'm not upset.
I'm not upset. I'm just processing. I'm just listening. I'm just trying to find out what it is you're saying.
I'm just listening.
No,
Yeah.
Jill, you're mad. And if I was Jack, you'd throw me down the hill. That was pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, so first of all, don't take it personally. How can you tell if you're taking it personally? If you do, number two, okay? Do not defend nor explain away, okay?
Yes,
And again, we chose certain pictures to give the body language that's oftentimes associated with somebody trying to defend or explain away. Well, I guess, see, you don't understand. Go ahead, John.
Well, there's a key principle here. I'm just going to throw it in. We have whole trainings on our website about just this issue, but it is very important as they're giving you feedback that you don't take this as the opportunity to say, well, that wasn't my idea.
Right.
Or this happened in a budget meeting. This wasn't me.
Anything you say that tries to explain it, you are defending yourself.
Yep.
Anything you say that tries to point to them as to why it was done, you're trying to defend yourself. Even if you're trying to explain it away. When they're telling you, look, we don't like, I'll just throw one out. We don't like the fact that at nighttime, okay, it gets really dark and some of us have to walk way across the parking lot and we feel it is not safe. All right? And the manager hears that, and for whatever reason, they go, well, see, you don't understand. What happened was, okay, stop. Right there. You're explaining, okay? You're answering what is not to be answered. What you need to do is validate the person, and we'll show you how in the next few minutes. But Elizabeth, the question you asked earlier about how to get those complaints is by having conversations that follows these steps. Yes?
Well, and your second question, Elizabeth, about how, if you do take it personally, how do you recover? I would say the first thing to do is just call yourself out and say,
whoops.
I'd say, you know what, I'm sorry, I'm taking this personally. Please, this is on me, not you.
Exactly. Or whatever it is you catch yourself, well, I'm sorry, look, I need to be writing notes, I'm not taking notes, I apologize. Or, you know, I feel like I'm answering, I shouldn't be answering, you know. Call yourself out. Let them see that you're humble enough to realize that, you know, and guys, this can be done over the phone. This can be, it ought to be done in person. I've been coaching some folks in New Orleans, a good hour and a half away from here, and we're trying to do some conflict management between 3 individuals. And I sit for 45 minutes to an hour with person number 1, and I go through the 9 steps. Then I sit with person number 2, I go through the 9 steps. I'm taking all notes, and I'm making sure that I don't take it personally or that I'm too rushed, I'm running out of time. Okay, so let's go to step number 3. We see a couple more questions. We'll come back to them in just a second. All right, number 3. Okay, let's put it back on the screen. Is let them vent their drama. Now, we're not talking about being unsafe or feeling like you're going to be hurt physically.
As we say this, I'm thinking about the number of various times we've been in either a focus setting group or one-on-one.
Correct.
Or even a larger setting where someone decides, all right, I'm going first. And everybody's like, if you meant it, you said I could really say it. And woo,
a really good movie to watch in this is George Clooney's Up in the Air. When they have the horrible job of firing people, and when they're talking to people about their needing to be fired, the drama that comes out throughout the whole movie. And there's one scene in which a guy actually throws a chair and he leaves, and George Clooney turns around to his colleague and he says, sometimes they just need to vent. You know, and it's funny because it's real life, but it is not funny because people's lives and their careers are sabotaged because in those scenarios, nobody talked with them and they didn't have anybody to talk to. Okay, so if we listen to them and we let them vent, what you're doing here, let me show you. Let's go back on the screen, okay? When you let them vent, when you let them explain their drama and feel that it's safe to do so with you, what happens is you're beginning to chisel through the layers of drama, okay? And what you want to say is you want to say things like, I can tell you're upset because, but don't do it in a sanctimonious way. Be honest, be sincere. I can tell that you're upset, and this is really upsetting you. And you want to get them to be able to say, yeah. I really am upset.
It's validation when you do it.
Yeah, but what you do is you do step 4. You repeat back what they said and how they said it. Okay? Not just mimic the words. You repeat back what they said, how they said it, and they should basically feel like, yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying. You know, and then validate them some more. Say, okay, but I see why you're upset. Yeah, I'm glad you do. When they start agreeing with you that they're hearing you say it the way that they said it, that's a shocker. Because before they've always met resistance. Now with you, they're actually being validated. Like, you're not going to get onto me. You're not going to scold me. You actually said what I just told you. And you said it in the way that I said it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you'll notice they'll start calming down a little bit. We're not saying all of a sudden, boom, it's going to be peace on earth. You know what I'm saying? But they will start realizing that they're talking to a different level of manager. Not because you're in a higher position, but because you manage differently, okay? All right, step number 5. Any thoughts on before you move on? Okay, so step number 5, while you're talking to them, okay?
Take notes.
That's right.
So one of the things that helps, and this is important in 2 ways. One is it demonstrates that you're actually listening to what they're saying. But number 2, you're going to be gathering up all of this information. So Elizabeth, one of your questions here, how do you gather everyone's complaints? Part of it is by taking notes during the meeting.
I have a folder, y'all. I literally have a folder like right there, okay? Like 5-10 feet away, okay? In which we're working with this company, and right now we're doing this with all the different teams. We're meeting them, they're telling us their problems, we're meeting with individuals, we're meeting with the receptionists. You should see the stack of paper that John and I have collected. Everything from sticky notes, from napkins, from wallpaper, from actual sticky notes, okay? And then we take all that stuff and we compile it and we make sense of this. But what's interesting is when they see us write down, it's like 2 things are happening. You're either writing down to quote the person so that you can use it against them. Okay, what did you say? You know what I'm saying? So it's all in how you do it. The second thing you're doing when you're writing down is you're validating them even more that you're actually wanting to pay attention that much better.
Exactly.
Okay? You want to say things like, okay, so let me understand what you're saying. And look at your notes. I see what you're saying. All right, so what I understand what you're saying is that the way the cases are being handled, if we don't make those decisions on Friday, the way that it's impacting you, by the time Friday comes along is that if you don't get your cases on Tuesday, Thursday, you can't do anything about it. So you're always 1 week behind, and this is why it's affecting your commission. Okay, I see that. And then let them see that you're drawing it out, that you're writing it out. The level of respect they're going to feel, again, you want to surprise them. You want to say repeatedly from your notes, so what you're saying is. So what you're saying is. All right, let me see what you're saying. So what you're saying is, and again, validate them. Let's go to step number 6. Let's see if there's any other questions. Yes. Again, Elizabeth, thank you. Elizabeth gets prized for all the questions.
There's one other question there about how often should I
That's where I was going. That's where I was going. Okay, how often should you do this? We believe, okay, it all depends on the size of your organization, the place where your business is at as far as the change, okay? But you should be able to get on a regular basis, and by regular we mean once a week, meet with your direct reports so that they can meet with you and talk with you about the problems, their issues, their ideas, and their solutions. A good 45 minutes to an hour meeting, 1.5 hour meeting, the absolute longest, so that they can talk with you and you can talk with them. That is a very regular, very healthy cycle. Some companies can't afford that in that because the frontliners can't leave the floor for an hour and a half. Well, there's some really interesting ways that we could do that. And one of them is by what we call the sticky notes. Okay? We actually have run companies that we put a sticky board on the back, and any issues they have, They all know that we have 3 boards, actually. One for things they want to see started, one for things they want to see stopped, and some of the things they want to see continued. Start, stop, continue. Yep. And we put all 3 of them on the wall. One of them says start, one of them says stop, one says continue. Yep. And they pretty much know the rule is this, that any issue, okay, a couple of exceptions. You can't talk about money. Okay. And second, you can't talk about people. Okay.
Yeah,
Other than that,
you can't say stop employing Earl.
Stop employing Earl. Get rid of Earl. Okay. Okay. Those are the only rules. Other than that, everybody can take sticky note and put it on the board. And every week, the manager collects those and then reports to everybody back in the group everything that was collected. And what's cool about this, everybody walks up and down the hallways, and they all see the issues. Right. And what's interesting, guests or new employees come in and they go, Is it okay for you guys to talk like that? Yeah. And sure enough, hey, this is what we're here for. We fix problems, okay? Yep. All right, so let's go back to step number 5. We're about to go step number 6. Well, actually, let's cover this. Step number 6 is when you validate their frustration, okay? You have to recognize that although drama is recent, frustration is long-lived.
Right.
Okay?
That's right.
So you want to make comments like, I can see you're frustrated because, and then appeal to the fact that you understand that this has not been answered for a long time.
Right.
Okay? You brought this up before, haven't you? Yes, I have. Okay, I can see why you're frustrated. Look, I'm going to do my best. Let me collect some data, but I hear what you're saying. All right, how long has this been going on? This has been going on for that long? Are you serious? Well, yeah, I'd be frustrated too, man. You know, just say comments like that. You're going to validate them, and they're going to feel a lot more engaged.
Yeah,
okay?
Well, and realize some of that frustration is going to be based on you, the manager. That's okay. Just let them tell you, and if you need to on the spot say, wow, I didn't know it was affecting you that way.
Correct.
Just validate their frustration as opposed to throwing yours back.
Because what you're building up is you're building up this conversation, this 8-minute, 10-minute, 12, 15, 20-minute conversation, so that they're feeling comfortable with you. So they're feeling that you're listening, and what you're building up as they're telling you the different issues and you're validating that you understand what they're talking about, okay? You want to ask them this question. So let's pop it up in numbers on the screen. What you want to ask is this, okay? What do you think the issue is that will probably allow us to fix this? Okay, you can ask that in many different ways. You can use different kind of wording. It's all about the tone, the tenor, and the sincerity. So John, let me ask you, or Mary, or Bill, or Jill, let me ask you this. What do you think the issue is, or what do you think we should do to fix this? Okay? And then you get quiet for about 5 and 7, 10 seconds, and you don't say anything until they answer.
Yes.
Okay?
What Mo just said, you don't realize how significant what he just said is. There's a tendency for there to be some introversion on the part of frontliners. And people who are introverted take longer to form their thought before they speak. So in a conversation, introverts have longer gaps of silence, and it's common for an extroverted manager to ask a question, not like the silence, ask another question, and then not hear anything and ask another question, and the whole thing gums up the communication until the frontliner basically just says, okay, whatever.
Yeah, so it would go sort of like this. Let's talk about the parking lot issue, because that one actually came up recently. All right, and John, or the person I'm talking to on the phone or in person, they're telling me about the parking lot issue, and I ask the question. I say, so let me ask you this. What do you think we ought to do? You think we ought to get a new parking, or perhaps basically use one of the ones downtown? I mean, that would take a lot of time to walk over there from about 3 blocks. Do you think that would work? You see what I'm saying? I asked the question. I'm an extrovert. Yeah. The other person obviously didn't have a way to get a word in edgewise. But I asked the question, and then I answered it. And then I throw out what I think is my idea to the question that I ask. And right there, what you've done is you push them out of the conversation, as opposed to saying this. So, Larry, let me ask you this. What do you think we ought to do, or have you thought of how perhaps we ought to fix this? And just wait, okay? Let them talk, okay? Half the time, they won't have anything to say. I don't know. You know, sometimes they'll tell you exactly what it was. Again, this lady I talked to in New Orleans, I had a good 45-minute to an hour conversation. I'm about to hang up the phone with her, okay? She thanked me so much, and right before I hang up, she said, oh, Mr. Maurice, let me ask you this. Would you mind if I send you some more thoughts I've had about this? I said, sure. She says, I have it all written down. 2 pages. 2 pages. Not only of the problem, but guess what? step by step on how to fix everything she had said. Okay? I took it, I went to her manager and I said, let me ask you this, have you ever seen this? And you know what the manager's answer was? Oh yeah, she talks about that all the time. No! Wow. Why hasn't it been fixed? And if you look at the issues, all of them, I would say of the 7, 6 of them are dead on, absolutely necessary. One, I would say throw it as a carrot. Just let her fix it. Give her a budget to fix it. All of them extremely reasonable and all business oriented, okay? And she's a receptionist. I'm sitting there going, you got yourself a manager in the making, okay? But she's not used to people listening to her, okay? So when you ask this question, let's put it back on the board, okay, on the screen. What do you think the issue is that will probably allow us to fix it? This is the question you should be asking regularly about everything they tell you. If they tell you 10 items, you ask this 10 times. Listen to what they have to say, and let's go to number 8. Sorry, go ahead.
One more comment based on that frontliner solution. Y'all, let me tell you something. Over and over and over again, when we work with clients, the least expensive good solutions come from the closest to the front line possible, almost always. Well, and the reverse, the further from the front line and the closer you get to the C-level suite where a solution is coming from, the more expensive it gets.
This gal was one of the 7 issues was the copier. And she says she's been talking about it for a year and a half. Now it's going to need complete overhaul or practically a new system altogether. Had they paid attention to it earlier, they wouldn't have had the problem. All right, let's go to number 8. Step number 8. When they tell you what it is that they think ought to be done, listen intently and sincerely to what it is they're saying. At this point, go back to steps 4, 5, and 6 to where you validate them and say, okay, great, tell me some more, tell me some more, tell me some more. All right, and then as you know, within a couple minutes after they tell you what it is that they want to do, okay, as you listen intently and you're validating them, these words should come out of your mouth. Ready? Good idea.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Okay? You have to say it. You have to let them hear you sincerely say these words.
But Maurice.
Yes.
What if it isn't a good idea?
Okay, ready? Good idea. Okay.
But what if it's a horrible idea, Maurice?
Hey, John, good idea. Thanks. Tell me some more.
What if they think that means we're going to actually do it right now?
Well, you're going to think one of 2 things. You're going to think we're going to do it right now, or you're going to think we're not going to do it. Okay? So I'm not sure what we're going to do. All I'm going to do right now is I'm going to validate you. And I'm going to validate your idea. Why? Because you had the courage, you had the trust and the confidence to tell me what you think. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show respect. I'm going to show respect by not shooting your idea down. I'm going to show respect by not raining on your parade. And at the end of the day, I, your manager, have to be humble enough with the fact that I really don't know all the train of thinking that's behind what you just said. So I'm going to validate your idea and I'm going to say, tell me some more. Tell me some more. Because deep down behind that initial comment is probably the very nugget that I had not heard before, that it could change all the difference of what makes it exciting to fix the problem. Okay? So get yourself used to saying good idea. We joke about it a lot, but we say it a lot. Good idea. All right, let's keep going. All right, remember, you're validating them. You're not just validating them. Sorry, you're not just validating their idea, you're validating them. All right? So look at these quotes. When you listen to their idea and you do something meaningful with it, you come back to them and ask them for more ideas. Their engagement after those meetings with you goes tremendously high. Okay? All right.
There's more connection to their work. Their engagement skyrockets. They're happier. There's this thing that happens with engagement. There's this feeling that happens when people, they feel heard. And you know what the thing is? The data really shows this. They may not have actually got the solution to their problem, but someone heard.
Right.
And that by themselves creates a higher level of productivity and happiness as that frontliner is doing their work, not at the party later, while they're doing their work.
That's right.
You get more from them.
That's right. That's right. All right. So don't forget, these 9 steps are critical. All right. If you don't take care of these issues, you're going to create the problems and you're going to create the behavior. So don't forget them. Now, before we close up, all right, we still got a few more minutes. We want to tell you one more thing.
You get a bonus step.
You get a bonus step. Let's put it back on the screen. This was one of Steve Jobs' favorite tactics. Oh, one more thing. Ready? Here it is. Number 10. Okay? Go fix their problems. Okay, if you've listened to them, Liz, appreciate the question you asked us on the online. Why do managers continue to ignore great employees? Okay, bottom line, because this issue right here, managers get frustrated that they cannot fix a lot of problems, so they stop trying.
Can I give
and
one?
Yeah, absolutely. Go
A
ahead.
specific answer to this is that I'm going to try not to get too extended and academic on this, but there's a shift that's happened over the last number of years in the function of a manager. It used to be a manager's job to listen to direction above them, clearly articulate it down, and tell people what to do and require compliance.
It's a downward approach.
It has changed. It has to do with the historical cost of communication. It's too much for this webinar, but there's been a shift that's happened as information has become cheap. And it's become now more important for the manager to keep everyone aligned. But there's still this historical echo in the role of the manager that says, it is my job to tell everybody what to do, not to have them tell me what to do.
I tell you want to be a great manager? Listen to your people. And we're not mincing words when we say turn around and go tell the executives what to do with professionalism and great proposals. But they want to know because they're just as frustrated that they're not hearing what's happening in the front line. So one of the reasons, Liz, of why many managers ignore great employees is they don't know how to handle the drama that comes with all the stuff we've been talking about. All right, let's go back to our original quote. We believe this is a good way to start closing up, to remind us, okay, of what this is all about, okay? Hopefully this quote makes a lot more sense to you now. Good management is the art of making problems, notice, problems, so interesting, and their solutions so constructive that everyone wants to get to work and deal with them, all right? So the first step to do this is to have these conversations with employees and practice these 9 steps on how you can show them that you're going to be this level of a manager. Okay, we're coming closer to the end of our webinar. So here, hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Really appreciate all of you that have logged on. Those of you that have stayed through the whole webinar and the questions. We're doing this to introduce you to the type of training that we offer. This is a webinar style presentation. In our subscription program that we have online, we have some videos. Usually they're about 15, 20 minutes, and they're not just conversational, but they're a lot more engaging and fun because we put in a lot of clips and a lot of funny scenarios and a lot of neat, interesting stuff. So let us show you on the screen what the next steps are. What we encourage you to do is to subscribe to our training courses, okay? There's 2 tracks that we have available on our website. It's an individual track that you basically subscribe yourself, or that was only for $35 a month, and there you will find many hours, tools, files, documents, templates, audio files, downloadable stuff that you can learn to be a great manager, a great leader, a good performer, a great professional, and it's to help you develop your professionalism. The other track is your corporate track, and that's when you have, for example, a team of 30 or more employees. It starts breaking, the breakdowns at 30 employees. So if you have 30 or more employees, you'd want to look at the corporate track, which you can put all your employees for one nice, easily monthly investment of $975, $1,000 a month.
Yeah, and we're okay if your company has 5,000 employees.
Exactly. Now, he did say if you have 5,000 employees. So really, check us out, okay? What we have on our website, we have assessments, okay? We also have video courses. We have personality surveys. We have audio files. We have PDFs and downloadable files on there. We have blog posts. We have events and workshops, okay? And we're putting on the screen many of the programs that are available to you, okay? Management Excellence Program, Customer Service, Time Management, Personality Alignment, Team Building, Presentations, Professionalism, Basic Unit of Work, all types of stuff. These are just a sample of everything that's available, and we're uploading new material every week, okay? This week, for example, we're putting up 18 new files and courses out there, all right? So what you do is you go to our website and you go to www.winningintheworkplace.com, okay? Then you can look up at the top where it says courses or assessments, take a look at it and start off. Just go ahead and click on sign up. and start your 7-day free trial, and then stay logged in, check out everything. Of course, then it starts renewing on a monthly basis, and there at the bottom of the screen you see where it talks about your corporate training for your entire group. Okay, so join us. All you have to do is go to winningintheworkplace.com. If any of you would like to talk with us or set up a session with us to get to know a little bit how this works, or you want more help or consulting, we help clients, of course, personally, and we get very involved with our clients. Just shoot us an email at info@winningintheworkplace.com and just ask to speak to one of us, and we'll take care of you. So we're coming to the end of our webinar. We really thank you all for joining us, and we're here for you. We hope to help you grow.
That's right. Thanks so much for joining us, y'all. Get started. Get into the website, winningintheworkplace.com. It is time for you to win in the workplace.